Well, goodness, we made it to Friday. Goodness. Did it seem like a long week to anyone? And listen, I'm pushing 50. So I kind of prefer the days to drag on and on, if you know what I mean. Let's see who's in here. Lisa Marie, happy Friday. Rapper, what's up, my friend? V. Oakley. Cats, Hodge Podgery. True Crime Beat, Uli, our girl Susan, Britt, Diana, woohoo, woohoo, Sophia Petrillo, Missing with Amanda. What is up, girl? Hey, Amanda, do you still have my phone number? I need to discuss something with you. True Crime Junkie said, I can't wait for the show. I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since we've done a show like this, and I need to do more of them. I also need to turn my damn phone down. Hell going on around here? Give me a second. I would blame OJ for this, but this is 100% my fault. All right, phone is off. Woo! Woo! You know. Yeah, we used to do a lot of these, and, you know, we got busy in other cases and other conversations. Brett thought it was a doorbell. Nope, it's a phone. It's a phone. So let's just take a second and tell everybody good morning and glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Now, what are your big plans for the weekend? Please tell me. Don't leave me out. Old DT Driver doesn't know what's in store for him because he's got a lot of shit to do this weekend. All right. Many of you have asked, and I really haven't gotten into the right frame of mind to do an entire show about Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. I know a lot of people say he's going to walk away from these charges. Okay? I don't see how, considering they have like 60 plaintiffs. It is a lot. I mean a lot. This woman from like 2004 gave an interview yesterday, not in court, but she said she went to one of the white parties. Now I can tell you something right now. Go ahead and call me a racist if you want. If I had a white party around here, my cat OJ would be very offended. But not only did people have to wear white, they had to make sure to moisturize their skin before he could see them. That is some Silence of the Lambs shit, okay? That is crazy. And so for people that say, oh, he's going to walk away from this because everybody was just partying. They were just partying. They didn't even grant him a bond or bail. Okay? They didn't. No. Not at all. Let's look at this and you all tell me what you think. And if you want to do a full show about it, we probably have to do it for members only because it turns my stomach. The 15-year-old with the dog about made me vomit.
Diddy Combs, with the defense putting the mogul's now ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, under cross-examination. And just a warning, this story contains accounts, descriptions, and visual content of actual and alleged events that some may find disturbing.
In a New York City courtroom, star witness Cassie Ventura took the stand for the third day in a sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy case against her former boyfriend, hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Cassie was grilled for 6 hours by the defense. trying.
Okay, I think it's very odd in this picture of her because his makeup artist did her makeup and her hair to look like J-Lo. All of these years when I saw this picture, People Magazine, TMZ, I thought it was J-Lo. Ilyanka said, I avoid celebrity cases like the plague. Since it's Brooks, okay. Thank you, Ilyanka. Love you. And she has some horrific things to do. And horrific things to say. And they're not done. There is a private law firm with over 40 plaintiffs. Now, here's one of the problems. The degradation. For him to get his rocks off, he would have to witness things that are inhumane. Inhumane. Now, the Oakley said he's not even good looking. Yeah, no shit. Look at him. He looks like buckwheat. Nobody wants to be with him. He's no damn Denzel. He's no damn Denzel. And you got all these other people involved. Ashton Kutcher. That chick he's married to, Jay-Z, Beyonce. It goes on and on and on. And they were basically just using people for their own shits and giggles. Good morning, Karma.
Trying to paint a picture that she was a willing participant in the alleged freak-offs that are central to the prosecution's case.
The whole point of the cross-examination was to get jurors to believe that Cassie Ventura was not a victim of sex trafficking. She may have been the victim of domestic violence or assault, but they were hoping to raise doubt in the minds of jurors.
Oh, he beat her ass. He beat her ass when she tried to get away. Jules said, all dim teeth. I'll tell you what, he looks like one of Dawn and Candace's inbred cats. How many damn teeth does he have in his head? Damn nasty. Damn nasty. Goodness. It's like I said on Monday. I said Tuesday. The stuff that Dawn and Candace had going on at their house is like a P. Diddy party on welfare. Okay? God.
That there could have been other reasons Cassie Ventura engaged in the sexual conduct she did.
Combs' lawyer, Anna Estival, leading the cross-examination. Estival said, to make him happy, you told him that you wanted to do freak-offs, right? Cassie replying, no, there's a lot more to that. Estival going through old texts and confronting Cassie with a message from August 2009, in which she told Combs, I'm always ready to freak off. LOL. The defense reading another of Cassie's messages, suggesting she became reluctant only when she felt, in her words, quote, dirty and grimy.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that. Don't you find it odd that in other cases, they say text messages only go back so far? We have heard it in the Alana Rautfield case. We have heard it in the Idaho 4 case. We have heard it in many cases that they're only archived for so long. Sounds to me like he kept all these messages on different phones because these messages are from the 2000s, not the 2025. I'm not talking 2015. I'm talking the 2000s. I'm talking the George Bush era going into Obama. They have all these messages. Now, if AT&T says we only archive for 7 years, someone do the math for me. Seems to me that he kept all the shit.
As opposed to sensual and spontaneous. Going on to say, I get nervous that I'm just becoming the girlfriend that you get your fantasies off with, and that's it.
The cross-examination did meander and appear to get bogged down at times. The whole defense is that Cassie was not coerced into this kind of sexual activity. So the defense is hoping the jury in those text messages sees enthusiasm on the part of Cassie Ventura, a willingness, an eagerness to participate in the kind of lifestyle that Sean Combs was leading.
They wanted to cast doubt, reasonable doubt on her credibility, and they wanted to cast these encounters as consensual encounters.
And this woman's a fucking idiot. Okay. She's a goddamn idiot. So why they have her weighing in, I will never know.
And there is evidence to support that notion that they.
Okay, hang on. Amalu said my oldest messages are 2016 on my phone. And but that's your phone. We're talking about what I should have made it more clear. I'm sorry. I'm talking about what Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, US Cellular, what they archive. I mean, what's on your phone is on your phone, but most phones don't really have the storage to keep things all that time. So I'm like, where did the messages come from years ago?
They were in this relationship, that she agreed to this swinging lifestyle.
The defense questioning Cassie about texts she sent to Combs on the day this video.
And I'm not getting into politics, but this Sunny Houston, she's always got an issue with someone. Always, always, always. She's on that show, The View, which I find interesting and sometimes comical. She should be in jail herself because she helped her husband fraud Medicare. Surgeries and appointments that never happened. Dead people don't go to the doctor, Sonny. It doesn't work that way.
Video was recorded, showing Diddy beating and dragging her after she allegedly tried to escape a freak-off. I want to freak off so bad, but don't want to expletive myself up. What am I to do? The defense trying to suggest the freak-off could be Cassie's idea.
Even though the text messages appear to be friendly, the sex appears to be consensual over a decades-long relationship, that there can still be evidence of sexual abuse and sex trafficking. Sex crimes and sexual trafficking are generally the result of grooming by a defendant, someone that continues to push boundaries and make behavior that is coercive, that is non-consensual, appear to be normal.
Another theme the defense pushed throughout the day, jealousy.
Defense attorney Ana Esteval got Ventura to agree she could be jealous. Cassie Ventura said she had some jealousy of Kim Porter. Porter's the mother of 4 of Combs' children. She wanted to be the one to develop a relationship with his family that she did not have.
Yeah, well, Cassie did not kill Kim. Just like Cassie didn't put a car bomb in Kid Cudi's Range Rover, okay? Kim Porter suddenly, very healthy woman who was fighting with him left and right, suddenly died of pneumonia. You're telling me that Kim Porter, who has, he's a billionaire, my friends, he is a billionaire. He is a freaking billionaire. She has access to a lot. She has 4 kids with him. You're telling me that they couldn't do anything for her pneumonia? No. And with no signs of lung issues. It was written up real quick. She died of pneumonia in her bed. Really? Okay.
Cassie was asked about a moment at a freak-off where Combs went through her phone, discovered she had been cheating on him with rapper Kid Cudi, whose real name is Scott Muscudi. Esteval asked Cassie, did you feel justified in cheating on him with Mr. Muscudi because of Mr. Combs' infidelities? Cassie answering, I could have, possibly. I don't know.
That jealousy cut two ways. Cassie Ventura talked about some pretty scary arguments she had with Sean Combs over her infidelity. With rapper Kid Cudi, Combs was violent towards her for reasons having nothing to do with sex, but because of jealousy and infidelity.
In 2015, when Cassie was filming Honey 3, she learned Combs was dating another woman, so she began a relationship with actor Michael B. Jordan. Cassie testifying, "I was definitely angry, yeah." Cassie is expected to take the stand again tomorrow.
The judge wants her finished with her testimony by the end of Friday after federal prosecutors told him that she could give birth as soon as this weekend.
Combs has pled not guilty and denies all charges. In court, Combs' mother and his 3 sons sitting through a
Oh my God, look at his mama. Hang on.
Birth as soon as this weekend.
Combs has pled not guilty and denies.
By the way, what he looks like on this screen is not what he looks like in court. He looks like the cover for the Uncle Ben's rice, okay? He's got wrinkles, he's not moisturized, and he's got very gray hair. Now look at his mama in the Dolly Parton wig.
Is all charges. In court,
Look at that. Damn. Damn. And he has certain things that he has to have. It's insane.
Combs' mother and his 3 sons sitting through a 4th day.
How's he got white sons? How's he got white sons? How? I mean, I'm not getting into race or genetics, but how? He had this thing for a while that he could only be with people that were part black. Does that sound a little racist to you?
Day of graphic, lurid testimony. Combs' support system extending beyond family as well, including friend of 35 years, Charlucci Finney. Now a member of Diddy's inner circle defending his.
This guy they're talking about right here, this Charlucci, he's a gangster, okay? I'm not talking about someone that buys the outfit and tries to act all cool. I'm talking official. He is so connected in Brooklyn. It's disgusting. Hence why people would go to their car and it blows up. Worst thing's ever happened to me is I get in my car and it's running low on gas or the battery's dead.
His friend.
Your friend, Sean Combs.
1000%.
Now, how would you describe your relationship?
God brother, close friend.
Now, when you say friend, if I may ask, now you're
Yes.
from Brooklyn, I'm from Baltimore, so
Yes.
this is a Baltimore question. Now,
Absolutely.
when you say friend, or on the payroll friend?
I never received $1 from him as a payroll. That's my brother.
As a payroll. Never received $1 from him as a payroll. So what did you receive? Because people have been doing dirty work for him for a long time.
Blood make you related, but loyalty make you family.
Charlucci says he shows up to court every day, rain or shine, often wearing a free puff hoodie.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed of him. I love him out loud. I'm not going to hide it.
I understand that in court, that you guys sometimes exchange looks, kind of nod.
Right.
Walk me through those moments. What's that about?
Well, there's this thing that we do. And he let me know he's okay. He's calm. Like, I'm good, brother. Don't worry about me. And then I'll return the favor. I'm good, brother. Don't worry about me.
But you are worried about it.
I'm worried about him because it's a different place. You know, you're going from this big mansion, this king-size bed with butlers and stuff like that, to living in a room, mattress this thick, being told when to get up, when to sleep.
Finney says his friend is not a monster.
Racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation for the purpose of prostitution. Does that sound like your friend?
No, it don't. It sounds like alleged charges. And that's why we're in court. He's not a sex trafficker. I know that he's not a racketeering boss. I know that.
How do you know that?
The RICO was built for people like John Gotti.
How would you know that? How would you know about John Gotti and Al Capone and what the RICO's about? You, dude, are a gangster. You, dude, are a gangster. You know how to intimidate people to make them do what you want to do. Baby Kisses says, my daughter has her, I don't have my glasses on, GF daughter, a beautiful white girl with white toad head. Her dad, handsome and very black in color. I'm sure it's absolutely beautiful. I'm trying to understand the hypocrisy of Sean Combs, where he, on one hand, wants people that are only part black to be in his bed. The male prostitutes are white. And then if you go to his party, you have to moisturize because he said ashy skin grosses him out. What the hell is wrong with him? I mean, what the hell is wrong with him?
Al Capone,
Mobsters.
He's not a mobster. He's a producer. He's a philanthropist. He's a father. He's my friend. He's my brother. So.
And his lawyer suggested he's also a swinger.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I don't think swinging is against the law. What he do in his bedroom is his business.
Let's talk about the video of his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. You've seen the video.
Oh yeah.
Your reaction when you first saw it?
Seeing it, it was a bad look, right? It could be upsetting, right? To see your friend in a situation like that.
Okay, this is what really bothers me about these people, okay? He goes, it's upsetting to see your friend in this type of situation. She's trying to get away, okay? And after she gets thrown down and won't fight back, he's kicking her on the ground. You can tell she's basically playing dead, okay? And this guy, it's so sad to see a friend in a situation like that. If you were a friend, you would talk to your friend, okay? But Diddy is saying, I got counseling after this, and I cut back on the Ciroc vodka, which, by the way, that's what made him a millionaire, is when he partnered with Ciroc vodka. They've had nothing to say about all of these freak-offs that they sponsored. Might want to ask Ashton Kutcher about some of this.
Right, see your brother in a situation like that, see a woman in a situation like that. And by no way means possible that it's okay for a man to touch, pull, attack, grab, touch, do anything to a woman.
If that were your girlfriend, your sister, your mom, your daughter, what would have been your reaction?
I'd rather not say.
In addition to the federal trial, Combs is fighting more than 60 lawsuits depicting an alleged pattern of sexual violence and abuse. Combs' lawyers have denied all allegations and said he never sexually assaulted anyone. Lisa Bloom represents two people suing Combs in civil court.
The trial is underway. Feels like it's been a long wait.
And one government witness in the federal case.
It's very scary to be a government witness in a case like this. And I think scariest of all is that Mr. Combs will be sitting there staring at the witness. It's something that's very brave.
One of her clients is singer-songwriter Don Richard, who was a member of Danity Kane.
Ilyanka said, what's that message on his shirt? Free puff? What that mean? What are you saying, jackass? Oh yeah, that's what he's been wearing when he's outside the courthouse. The kids tried to wear some propaganda into the courthouse, and they were told they couldn't. Funny thing is, his mama trying to look like Dolly Parton, and his daughters couldn't send a message to him, and he kept doing the heart back to them. And they actually wound up leaving the courtroom after they started discussing male prostitutes going pee-pee. Jinbug said, "Not Diddy. It'll only be for a minute. Then we got other things to get through."
Collaborated with Diddy over the years. She filed a civil suit against Combs just days before he was indicted and arrested last September. Richard accused Combs of sexual battery, forced labor, gender-motivated violence, hostile work environment, and copyright infringement. She also claims she witnessed Combs becoming violent towards Ventura on numerous occasions. The alleged abuse including choking and strangling, punching her and throwing items at her, including a scalding hot pan.
Your client, Dawn Richard, you filed her suit 1 week before this case was brought against Sean Diddy Combs. Your reaction to that?
We were surprised and frankly very pleased to see that the government filed a case that was strikingly similar to our case. I mean, keep in mind, the government has a lot of power that I don't have. Mainly, they had the power of the FBI to go in and conduct raids of Mr. Combs's homes. But knowing what the government knows, that they filed a case that's so similar to ours, we saw that as a very positive sign.
Combs's lawyers have denied the allegations and accused Richard of trying to transform a straightforward commercial dispute into a headline-grabbing sex trafficking conspiracy.
For many people, this trial is about unchecked power. This trial is about the underbelly of the music industry. What is it for you?
For me, it's about my brother fighting for his life. That's what it means to me.
Guilty or not guilty, will his life be the same?
It could never be the same. He have to rebuild either way.
He's a man in his mid-50s. Can he rebuild if he is acquitted?
You don't know Sean, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. Watch.
And for more on this story, watch Impact by Nightline.
I think more are going to go down. I do. Now, I feel horrible for little Justin Bieber. Usher has spoke about things that he saw at the house. People thought Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle were crazy, and Kevin Hart when they were saying, that shit over there is crazy. That shit over there is crazy. And when Kim Porter started making her threats to him through, of course, some of his people, next thing you know, she gets the pneumonia and she's dead. Jinbug said, can't wait till Diddy starts exposing everyone else because he's about to snitch. You would think as long as he's been sitting in that jail that he would say, all right, I'll tell you who else is involved. I'll tell you who else. And they would produce people to him. It's horrible. Okay, again, we're jumping around. We are jumping around because now we are going to update on Caleb Collins. So first, we have a playlist on Caleb Collins. If you remember, his father and mother, without skid marks, hit a tree at 92 miles an hour in Alabama. Okay? His mother survived. His grandfather went to jail for not reporting someone in his care being missing, as in Caleb. His sister died on impact. His mother survived. And now she's going down for a lot. But they actually have found his body. I will get to that in a second because I know a lot of people are upset about this, thinking that the police didn't do their job. Well, they did. But let's start with this for a recap.
First at 6, we are staying on top of breaking news. We've learned chilling new details in the case of missing toddler Caleb.
Look at his eye. This baby has black eyes. This baby has black eyes.
Caleb Collins. ABC 3340's Gracie Johnson has been tracking this case from the start. And Gracie, the allegations in the newly released documents are deeply disturbing.
Brenda, for the first time since Caleb Collins' disappearance, we're getting a closer look at what investigators believe happened to the young child. The allegations against his mother and grandfather are graphic and paint a troubling picture of abuse. Caleb's mother, Wendy Bailey, faces 6 charges: aggravated child abuse, 4 counts of first-degree domestic violence assault, and abuse of a corpse. John Bailey, Caleb's grandfather, is facing 7 charges, including aggravated child abuse, multiple counts of domestic violence assault, abuse of a corpse, and hindering prosecution for allegedly assisting Wendy Bailey. Now, according to the new documents, the pair repeatedly abused a child identified as KRC. The abuse included binding the child with zip ties, suspending them from the ceiling, and causing serious physical harm.
Okay, so you're telling me while Mama was working at the local convenience store, she didn't come home and not notice that Caleb was suspended upside down with zip ties? When she received the text from her, I'll just say husband, saying he's not breathing now, she goes, he's probably in a bad mood and hurt. Thank you, Sophia, for the super sticker. She said, I'm so sorry you were failed and not protected and loved, Caleb. You're safe now, little one. Oh, it's horrible. And I couldn't imagine that small community in Alabama having to deal with this evil that was right around them.
They're also accused of mishandling a body in a way meant to outrage ordinary family sensibilities. Each of their bonds is set at $1.8 million. Wendy Bailey is also charged separately with criminally negligent homicide in the crash that killed her daughter, Riley. That bond is set at $100,000. Both John and Wendy Bailey are expected back in court for arraignment on August 7th.
Damn. What could this little boy have done to them? He's a baby. He's a baby. V. Oakley said they lived. The grandfather wasn't in the car crash. He is in trouble for not reporting a missing child. The mother survived the crash. And people said that I was making something up when I said there was no skid marks going towards the tree. Well, I wouldn't say that unless I was told. I wouldn't know because I wasn't there. And now it said, yeah, clocked at 92 miles an hour and no skid marks. He meant to hit that tree because he knew he was in hot water. V. Oakley said, I thought the guy died. The dad died. The grandfather wasn't in the wreck. The dad is dead. The little girl is dead. Caleb was murdered before. The grandfather was supposed to have custody of the little girl and Caleb, but he, just like it happens in a lot of these cases, CPS, like Billy Joe Howe, they're like, no, your child can't take care of your grandchildren, and they hand him right back. So the maternal grandfather didn't do what he was told to do by the state of Alabama. But they have found Caleb's body.
Live with local coverage you can count on. This is the CBS 42 News at 5.
In Fayette County, we are learning more tonight about the remains found in a burn pile. The sheriff's office believes the remains are that of 1-year-old Caleb Collins, who was reported missing 8 months ago. Good evening. I'm Carly Lang. Sherry is on assignment. Here's CBS 42's Avery Boyce.
Fayette County Sheriff Byron Yerby says the remains are about the size of a quarter and that they were found several weeks ago in a random burn pile outside of John Bailey's home. Fayette County sheriffs began searching the home in December. 2 weeks later, canines, ABI, and multiple agencies spent hours on the property looking for 1-year-old Caleb Rowan Collins.
Have put in some long days, many hours, and our investigators have done an outstanding job.
What started as an investigation into a fatal car crash back in November became a search to find a 1-year-old who was last seen in September. On Thursday, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office said they found human remains.
We were all happy that our work paid off. We never gave up. Our number one goal was to find Caleb, and it felt good.
Yerby says the remains were sent to the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences 6 weeks ago.
I hope that's what they...
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. Because when this revelation was shared, many people said, why couldn't the police figure that out before? This is corruption. They should have already known. They have to have it tested. They have to have it tested. Then, of course, you know, on the internet, everyone's a lawyer, a doctor, and a forensic scientist. They're like, it's impossible to burn bones. He's a baby. There are no bones. They're mainly cartilage, okay? They're lucky after as many times as they burnt him that they found any remains. In my opinion, this is good police work.
It felt good.
Yerby says the remains were sent to the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences 6 weeks ago.
I hope that's what they tell him, that it is his body. He deserves that.
And I have a question right here. Susan said, where was the family? No one reported it. How the heck does Ellie even know? Because when they had the car crash, dad's dead, mom's in the hospital, little girl is dead. It was told by family members, well, what about Caleb? They have another child. And they start looking for him. That's the reason they had the search around the woods after the car crash, thinking that he might have been ejected somehow. Then they realized there was a lot more to it.
Sciences 6 weeks ago.
I hope that's what they tell him, that it is his body. He deserves that. That kid didn't deserve what he got, by no means.
Court documents released in December alleged horrific details about what happened to Caleb Rowan Collins.
She deserves everything she's going to get. Both of them. That baby was treated like that in that house, hung and everything else, and beat. They're going to get what they deserve. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
The child's mother, Pam Bailey, faces multiple charges, including abuse of corpse. The child's grandfather also faces criminal charges. Pam and John Bailey are awaiting trial. Meanwhile, investigators are waiting to see if the remains are Caleb Rowan Collins. Sheriff Yerby says the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences did not give a time frame on when those results will be ready. In Fayette, Avery Boyce, CBS 42 News.
How sick is that? How sick is that? That's why I love doing these shows, especially on a Friday, where we can go through different cases and do the updates. And then if you all want, we can do an entire show. Because this case with Caleb drives me nuts. Now, do you all remember when we were doing the shows about Elena Hembry? Her mom had a, I'm just going to say a rug problem. And she would leave her 17-month-old baby with men, and the trade-off was drugs. Now then, I do understand I'm going to get some comments from people that say, well, not all drug addicts do that. I'm not talking about all. I'm talking about that bitch. I'm talking about Erica Lawson. They're still trying to track down everyone that had contact with her baby. They found 5 different DNA samples in this baby. Let's do a recap and then we'll get to the update. I am using this from Steph's case because she needs some love, needs some subscribers, and she lives right there in the county.
Major twist in the Erica Lawson trial. Hey everyone, I have a major update from Bell County where I was raised. As you recall, in July of 2023, Erica Lawson was accused of being a part of the reason why her daughter, 17-month-old baby Elena Hombre, lost her life as a result of blunt force trauma, as later determined. Now, the case made major headlines when
Now, I never saw where it was blunt force trauma. Okay? I know they, whoever they is, called the mama and said that Elena wasn't waking up. So she gets out of her stupor. She goes back to where she left Elena. And she went to a local hospital. They got Life Flight to send her to a hospital in Knoxville, and she died there. And from there, they realized this baby, this beautiful, beautiful baby, has been essayed. How was that even possible? How was that even possible? I'm a grown-ass woman, and sometimes I walk funny after getting my groove on with my husband. What in the hell is... I don't get it.
and they took DNA samples from 3 different men on accusations of SA against the little girl. The little girl was rushed to Middlesbrough Hospital.
Okay, this clip is outdated because she said 3 different men. Actually, it's been found out 5. So we'll get to the update after this.
I'm very familiar with the hospital. My aunt worked there for over 20 years. And then she was sent to Children's Hospital in Knoxville, where she later lost her life. Now, the attorneys for Erica Lawson are wanting to do a change of venue because they say the jury pool has been tainted all the way from Southeast Kentucky, all the way down through Knoxville because of the media, because of social media, because of the circumstances surrounding the little girl's unaliving. So her attorneys say, not fair. Her attorneys filed this motion for change of venue stating, look, there's posts for justice all over social media. There's posts for hatred against this Erica Lawson because she was allegedly trading time with the little girl for rugs, if you get where I'm going. And so the I don't know where they're wanting to change a venue for, but I know that the motion has been filed. Her attorneys went as far as hiring private investigators to take a poll around the area to get their take on and how they feel about this case. And well, the results are in and they want a change of venue. Erica Lawson has a pretrial conference coming up on June the 5th, 2024, and we will definitely keep you updated. What do you think? Do you think that she deserves a change of venue to be granted? Make sure you bookmark this so you can find your way back. I'll be keeping you updated on
She didn't get a change of venue. So when she went to pretrial last summer, no, didn't happen. But they are slowly but surely going through the scientific forensic evidence. And they have finally arrested another person. Wait till you see him. I want all of you to ask yourself, would you let this person babysit your baby? Okay, would you? Now, I think everyone here knows there is no way we would trade anything for the innocence of our children. No. No. No.
Also new at midday, we have an update this midday in the tragic case of out of Kentucky of 17-month-old, Elena Hembry. Court records now confirming a second.
Look at him. Look at him. They tracked down his DNA from inside this baby. Look at that shit. Mm-mm. 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 Now they got to find the others.
Records now confirming a second person has been indicted in the toddler's death. Harvey Golahan has been charged with murder and criminal abuse in the first degree. Golahan was among several other suspects whose DNA was tested in connection with the case. Throughout the investigation, it was determined that Golahan was directly involved in the events that led to the death of the child. Hembry died last July from blunt force trauma. Her mother, Erica Lawson, was already indicted for murder, and prosecutors are seeking the death penalty.
They're seeking the death penalty on her. Her defense is saying, no way could she ever have killed her child because she wasn't there. Kimberly Mann said, how many of the 5 have they found? One. Because Elena's a tiny little baby, okay? And so it takes them a long time to go through the samples to find out who did this or that. I hate to do this to you, but listen to it again, because it's one of the most disturbing things I've ever heard in my life.
Out of Kentucky of 17-month-old, Elena Hembry. Court records now confirming a second person has been indicted in the toddler's death. Harvey Golahan has been charged with murder and criminal abuse in the first degree. Golahan was among several other suspects whose DNA was tested in connection with the case. Throughout the investigation, it was determined that Golahan was directly involved in the events that led to the death of the child. Hembry died last July from blunt force trauma. Her mother, Erica Lawson, was already indicted for murder, and prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. As the case unfolds, we'll keep you updated on any new development.
All right. So Harvey, his semen was found inside of a 17-month-old baby. I don't know how he's going to explain that. Part of the probable cause affidavit is when Erica got the call that Elena was not responsive, and she showed up. Authorities got involved. She yelled at all the men that were there and said, how am I going to pay for my drugs now? Think about that. And again, I'm not talking about everyone that likes to take a toke or whatever you do. Drink a beer. Have a, I don't know. This is pure evil. So again, if you want me to recover this case and go into Harvey and how disgusting he is, put a 1 in chat. All right, let's get to this in Louisville, Kentucky. Woo! You're going to love this. You know how I'm about how kids should never, ever, ever, ever be on the internet. I can't stand it. Too many children are coaxed out of their homes thinking that they're meeting someone their age. Okay? The Delphi case, that's a very good example. Very good example. We know about the little girl outside of Dallas that was talking to someone she thought was her age about Minecraft. Next thing you know, she was found in a shed in North Carolina. One very recent, a girl in Missouri, was found with an SO in Colorado. They had been talking about Roblox. Well, here's another one, but it didn't turn out the way the dude thought it would.
A Louisville man who was found naked in a 13-year-old's bedroom now faces several felony charges. 20-year-old Parker Kramer of Louisville is charged with 1 count of burglary, 2 counts of rape, and 1 count of sodomy. Boone County Sheriff's Office reported a man said he heard noises coming from his daughter's bedroom in the middle of the night. And after entering to find Parker lying naked there on the floor, the father chased him out of the house, firing his handgun 3 times into the ground. Parker was later apprehended with the help of drone surveillance. Police said he admitted to driving from Louisville to meet his victim over in Florence and made admissions that led to.
Woo! Imagine, old boy. Imagine him. He goes and sneaks in the window. He's meeting. Now, the truth is, the 13-year-old did pretend to be older, but she also thought that he was more her age. Okay? But daddy got his pew-pew, and he was so anxious as he was shooting. Just when people say, oh, I'm going to have a gun, I'm going to have a gun. Listen, you're not a good shot. You're not a good shot. So every time he was shooting, he was hitting the ground because, well, let's face it, just because you have a gun doesn't mean you know how to use it. He beat his ass, too.
A Louisville man who was found naked in a 13-year-old's bedroom now faces several felony charges. 20-year-old Parker Kramer of Louisville is charged with 1 count of burglary, 2 counts of rape, and 1 count of sodomy. Boone County Sheriff's Office reported a man said he heard.
Now, to her, he looks like a pretty cool dude. I'm sure they had a lot of conversations. They thought they knew everything about each other. You know, he understands her, you know, because she's 13. He's 20. So obviously he can't get it anywhere else. I'm not saying that about the girl. Okay. And he drives from Florence, Kentucky to Louisville. Now remember, if you can't come through the front door, you're not invited. If you have to crawl through the window, probably means something else is going on. Has anyone in here ever been invited to sneak through a window? Now, as kids, we snuck out of the window. But he knew for damn sure he wasn't supposed to be there. That's how they got him on burglary.
Noises coming from his daughter's bedroom in the middle of the night. And after entering to find Parker lying naked there on the floor, the father chased him out of the house, firing his handgun 3.
Not only was he laying naked on the floor, He was smoking a cigarette. Smoking a cigarette. She was on her phone looking at TikTok. The dad grabbed his gun and chased his ass out. Good Lord.
Father chased him out of the house, firing his handgun 3 times into the ground. Parker was later apprehended with the help of drone surveillance. Police said he admitted to driving from Louisville to meet his victim over in Florence and made admissions that led to rape and sodomy charges. Kramer is currently being held in the Boone County Jail on $250,000 bond.
Gotta be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Exactly, Susan. He was running like his ass was on fire. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, kids do kids things. I mean, they do. I mean, they're like, oh yeah, my parents are asleep. I can get out and we can walk around the neighborhood. You know, this is totally different. Totally different. So do you all remember the case that we have spoke about, I think on like 3 occasions? The man in Arizona that left his baby girl in the back of the car. His wife is a doctor, and he went inside, and he said he just lost track of time playing PlayStation, and his daughter died. Later, it came out that he actually went inside and was watching porno movies. Either way, I don't care if he was watching Daisy Duck. I don't care. He shouldn't have left her in the car. He said, I left the car running. Either way, even if the car is running, is it safe for a child to be left alone in the car? Wouldn't that be kind of an anxious feeling? For you to be strapped in a car and, you know, you wake up and you're like, I'm still in the car and the car's not moving. Kids are smart. Well, he has been granted permission by a judge in Arizona to go on vacation to Hawaii.
Had a chance to avoid life in prison, but he turned it down.
He did. He rejected the plea deal because him and his wife think they're smarter than everyone else, and they're going to continue to say it's an accident. They have the text messages from his wife, who is still a doctor at the hospital, the local hospital in Arizona, where she said, I told you to quit leaving the kids in the car. I wouldn't even leave my cat in the car.
Now he's heading to trial later this year. 13 News reporter JD Wallace is live at Superior Court after seeing Schultes in court. JD.
And Schultes said very little, has changed his appearance yet again, but not his plea.
You guys all hear from me, my MDX.
In July, Marana police responded to Chris Schultes' home after he and his wife discovered he had left their 2-year-old daughter in the car, and it had an automatic shutoff feature he admitted to knowing about, while video and documents suggest he was inside playing video games for up to 3 hours. The girl was unresponsive and had a body temperature of 108 degrees on a 109-degree day. His wife texted him that she had warned him about leaving the kids in the car.
Mr. Schultes, are you being threatened in any way to reject the plea agreement? Has anybody promised you anything outside of this courtroom or the plea agreement to compel you or help force you to reject the plea agreement? Like, this is your decision? Okay.
As you can see, no glass.
I need to know more about the plea deal. I really do. Because the plea deal, what I understood, it's from a newspaper out of Phoenix. Jen Bug can probably help me with this. I can't remember everything and I don't have it in front of me. That basically it was going to be second-degree manslaughter. He would serve like 5 years and they would take life off the table. But now this same judge says he can go on vacation in Hawaii with the rest of the family. And heat is no joke, especially when you're in Arizona. Okay? Let me tell you something right now. We were in Buckeye, Arizona in July. My husband got out of the truck to go over the Quick Trip to get some pop and something to eat. He ran right back over into the truck to change his shoes because he could feel the heat coming through whatever he was wearing. And he needed sunglasses because he felt like his eyes were burning. Okay? Now remember, this happened in August. And even if you're in Alaska, August is hot.
For Schultes in court this time, and his hair looks a bit longer and darker than his last appearance in August, which was different from his mugshot. Schultes is charged with first-degree murder and child abuse and has just rejected a plea deal for second-degree murder. He's risking life in prison instead of accepting 10 to 25 years. Defense attorney Louis Fidel, not involved in this case, has explained while premeditation might not fit, felony first-degree murder can be charged when death occurs during the commission of a felony, such as child abuse. Fidel says attorneys give clients the best advice possible to weigh the risks, but ultimately it's the client's call. However he reached this decision, Chris Schultes has decided to proceed to trial.
And understanding the consequences and risks of going to trial.
How can he proceed to trial? He hasn't been in jail for a long time. He's been at the house, still with the children, and she's still working at the hospital. He has permission to go to Hawaii for a family vacation. Now, listen, I'm not saying he's some kind of serial killer. I'm not saying that he's out on the street with a chainsaw. I'm not saying that. But he had been told by his wife over and over and over to quit leaving the kids in the car. Now, remember, she's a doctor, okay? She's not working at the local Family Dollar. She's a friggin' doctor. She has the money, because he don't have nothing. He couldn't rub 2 dimes together to hire a babysitter and let him go tool around and do whatever he needs to do. But she didn't do that. Instead, she kind of thought in her mind, I'll just train him. I'll just tell him to be a better father. He'll figure it out. He didn't want to figure nothing out. All he wanted to do was go in, get his baby oil, and watch his porn and play his video games. He didn't want to bother those damn kids. Jinbug said the second-degree plea would have carried 10 to 24 years. Okay, then what I read was wrong. I'm sorry. Okay. Because I believe it's the Phoenix Sun that said the most he would serve is 5 years. But we also know how the media works. So, I mean, so what is this? The judge thinking this is his last hoorah before he goes before the jury? I don't know.
Trial, do you want to reject the state's plea offer to second-degree murder? Right, the court does find that Mr. Schultes is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently rejecting the plea agreement.
Schultes' trial is scheduled for late October. Live downtown, JD Wallace, 13 News.
But in the meantime, he's still at home. And he is on his way to Hawaii. On his way to Hawaii. Now, Oklahoma sometimes does things right and sometimes does things wrong. So this is a local story of ours in Oklahoma. All right, on Fox 23 News a few days ago, a mother she was not taking no for an answer after her son OD'd. We actually have another mother in Tulsa County that you're going to love this one. Her daughter died of fentanyl, and they have found the drug dealer. Okay, easy to find him because they have her daughter's phone. They tracked him down. He's in jail. They found out he made $450,000 in the last 14 months. Holy hell. Get this. The mother tried to file a civil wrongful death lawsuit against the drug dealer. Well, guess what? All his funds have been seized by the DEA. What the hell are they going to do with it? Holy shit. Not like a drug dealer's ever going to learn. But here is another mother, and you will hear what happens.
Tonight, we're hearing from a local mom who lost her son to fentanyl, an overdose, and she got to see her son's dealer sentenced to prison for murder.
That conviction is a first of its kind in Rogers County. Fox 23's Paris Rain joins us live in the studio. Paris, you talked to the mom and the Rogers County District Attorney about this groundbreaking case.
That's right, Nathan and Shay. The mom told me she's relieved Gavin got justice. Not only did this man responsible take the plea deal for 35-year sentence, but the Rogers County DA says this should send a serious message to other drug dealers that they will be held accountable.
Justice for Gavin Long. 3 years in.
You know that there are 3 states that it is illegal to go after the drug dealer if someone's a certain age, because they said it's a conscious choice. They even say, well, if someone dies of alcoholism, you can't sue the liquor store. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Again, I'm using the word stupidest. Alcohol is legal. It's got a damn tax stamp on it. We're talking about a totally different chemical going in your body. And good for this mama and good for Matthew Ballard. He was 2 years below me in high school, and good for him taking this case.
In the making for his mom, Delana Pritchard.
Him being off the streets and in jail. That's justice for us. And that knowing that he's not going to get out anytime soon to hurt and destroy another family.
In 2022, her son Gavin was found dead outside a Catoosa business parking lot in his car due to a fentanyl overdose. It was just before his 25th birthday.
Somebody could have saved my son had they known that he was in distress in that parking lot.
The drug dealer, Garland Williams, took a plea deal and was sentenced to 35 years in prison.
Okay, let me ask you, because we have intelligent conversations around here. We're friends. Excuse me. So if a bartender can get in trouble for over-serving, why can't a drug dealer get in trouble for selling something that is 100% illegal? Why would you? The case in Tulsa County, they have text messages from the drug dealer that said, okay, if you want the fent, you have to be careful. All right, look, it has a very short, it has a short life. I've never taken it. I wouldn't know where to get it. I've had it one time before surgery. I asked if I could take some home with me, and they're like, no. I felt like I was in a different planet. I was just like, wow, because nothing was cutting my pain before surgery. I'm like, well, I get some of this when I get home, and they're like, no. So, plea deal, 35 years. Okay? He won't make it 35 years. He won't make it 35 years.
prison Thursday for second-degree murder. Investigators say he saw Gavin struggling, and instead of getting him medical help, he left him.
They said it was really hard to charge somebody in these kind of cases. And I do see that because we have a lot of other families that don't ever get justice for their child. They won't ever get justice for their child.
While a murder conviction for a drug dealer is a first for Rogers County, District Attorney Matt Ballard says whenever dealers sell drugs, they're responsible for the.
I've got to find the picture from my yearbook. And you'll see Matt Ballard doesn't look much different than when we went to high school together. He just has more gray.
Families that don't ever get justice for their child. They won't ever get justice for their child.
While a murder conviction for a drug dealer is a first for Rogers County, District Attorney Matt Ballard says whenever dealers sell drugs, they're responsible for the outcome.
Does this make you all change the way that you handle fentanyl cases or overdose cases that result to death?
It continues those efforts. It just shows that we're going to have success on this, that we need to keep up our efforts and to send the message that the people doing this are going to be held accountable. The people who are selling drugs, who are bringing poison into our community, we're going to hold you accountable.
The problem is not just in Rogers County. It's a statewide issue and a problem nationwide, which is why Pritchard has turned her heartache into hope in helping others.
I joined a group called Families Supporting Families in the Drug Crisis in Oklahoma right after Gavin's passing. And ever since then, I jumped in with that group of moms and loved ones, and we go into schools. We talk to students about fentanyl poisoning and the dangers of illicit drugs. We go to events. Now I published a book. Gavin's in 2 other books. Any way that we can be a voice for our loved ones to help save yours is what we're trying to do.
The book is called The Day My Brother Died and I Discovered My Courage. It's a book written by Delana in the perspective of Gavin's little brother, Bo, and it has pictures of them and their childhood and even sentimental messages just like this one. That night I went to bed and I prayed to God, thanking him for the memories and to give me courage. I told God I might cry sometimes, but tell my big brother I'm not a crybaby.
We all have struggles in life, and I know that Gavin did, but just don't give up on your family. Don't give up on your children. Get them the help that they need. I'm glad that we got justice for Gavin. That was finally served.
Pritchard and other local families are headed to Washington, D.C. in October for the Lost Voices of Fentanyl rally. In the meantime, she stressed to me the importance of everyone having this, a bottle of Narcan on hand, because someone could have used it to save her son, Gavin, that night. Live in studio, covering News That Matters, I'm Paris Rain.
Well, let's talk about this. Okay. V. Oakley said people have to be responsible for their own actions. That is true. I totally agree with that. Adults do. They certainly do. Now, if you are, let's say, you are, through American capitalism, you are selling things to people that could potentially kill them. Would you, as a business owner, not make sure everything is copacetic? Would you not want to know what is in what you're selling them? Because you're talking about human lives, and you are dealing with someone that wants to get high. So as Gavin's mother says, if they had Narcan, you know, like they always say, like New Year's Eve, have a sober driver. Take an Uber, that type of stuff. How do you stop people that buy a bag of shit from some fat ass in Rogers County that doesn't even know what he's selling you because it came across the border? It makes no sense. And you can't control what people want to do. You can't control if they want to drink 8 pots of coffee a day or, you know, whatever. But at some point, these things have got to be stopped. Too many people are dying. I don't have the answer. If I did, well, I'd be doing something else. All right, you guys are going to love this one. House of Horrors. Again, here we are in Oklahoma. I got to play the song again. Oklahoma always making me proud. You know, this thing came out on the national news the other day. It said Oklahoma and Arizona have the most missing people in America. If you know, you know. Jen Bug said, I wonder why. We know, girl. We know why. We know why. All right, you're going to love this lollipop. Okay? Yet we have another foster parent that just wanted the money. Wait till you see this.
She's scared.
Hold on. B. Oakley said, I thought that would be Tennessee. They have some of the least. I know people look at Summer Wells and Sebastian Rogers. They actually have not near the crime that's in other states. Look at this.
She's talking about being beat up. She's talking about having scissors to her throat, talking about pulling you off of her and you telling her you would have killed her.
That's when we had an altercation.
Right.
We had an altercation.
With scissors? How are they hurting you? Eating too much?
No.
It's 2 p.m. in Piedmont, Oklahoma, where police find a runaway child who reveals some alarming information.
Don't run or I'll chase you and put you in handcuffs. I know you don't. Let's go talk about it. But until you're in my car, we're not talking. Stand up. Stand up. Yes. Are you going to listen? Yes. I don't want to yell at you. I want to be nice to you, but I'm not going to chase you. I'll tackle you before you have time to run. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. I don't want to do all that. I want to help you and figure out why you ran away and all that. But
can we talk about it at the police station?
We can talk about it in my car first. Okay. Do you need it? Is this any of your stuff? Okay. Let's go to my car.
This girl is so brave. So brave that when the police showed up, she didn't want to admit to even calling them. She just kind of thought they would go in and figure it out themselves, you know? And this just locally hit our news. But old Mama June's sitting in there. I mean, this girl was putting a table in front of her to feed her. And if she wasn't fed at a certain time, she would say she was going to take scissors to her throat and everything like that.
I have located her.
We are located her. I will call and cancel.
Okay. I'm just going to go around this building. What's going on? Why'd you run away?
I don't want to be there.
Why not?
She's scared.
She's scary? Who?
The one who takes care of us.
What's her name?
Tina.
Is that your mom? Yeah. What's scary about her?
I'm scared to get in trouble because she goes to the extreme. She goes very far when she gets into trouble.
Like what? What happens when you get in trouble?
Sometimes she locks us in a closet.
Locks you in a closet? For how long?
The longest I've been here has been like 4 days.
4 days? When did that happen?
4 days? 4 days in a closet? Now, some people say that's unbelievable considering the children had to feed the mom, Tina. Make this make sense. It won't.
Most recently?
It was last year. It was around Easter.
And what did you get in trouble for that made that happen?
I was sneaking my sister's food.
You were making them food?
I was sneaking my sister's food that she gets from school.
Why'd you get in trouble for that?
Because I'm not supposed to.
Make food?
No, out. My sister, my little sister, she was bringing like snacks from school.
Yeah.
And I was having her keep it in the bedroom so I could have some. And so when she figured it out, she tased me and locked me in a closet for 4 days.
She tased you?
Police waste no time investigating the child's claims and question their foster mom, identified as 43-year-old Tina Ramirez. Let's see what she has to say.
Have you ever locked your kids in the closet?
No.
Okay. Why would they tell me they've been locked in the closet?
All of my
Look at the carpet. Look at the carpet. Look at all that dog shit and piss on the carpet. And you can see her tray next to her where they bring her her food and whatever snacks she wants and her drinks, whatever. Look at that damn carpet.
kid said that.
More than one.
No. I've never locked any of my kids in the closet.
Okay. I found this letter. And I'm sure you've read it. It was in your closet.
Yes.
Tell me about these letters.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, why is she saying all this horrible stuff is happening to her if...
She does that. It's how she vents.
Right. I mean, is it the truth?
I mean, those are old. I wouldn't know. Like,
She's talking about being beat up. She's talking about having scissors to her throat, talking about pulling you off of her and you telling her you would have killed her.
That's when we had an altercation.
Right.
We had an altercation.
With scissors?
No, there was no scissors. She was coming at me.
Okay.
But we can't pull it off because she was holding my hair.
Okay.
Right? And yeah, that did happen. That did happen, yes.
How do you discipline these kids? I mean, I know we talked about it earlier. Do you spank them?
No.
Do you hit them?
No.
Ever?
No, I've had altercations before.
Yeah.
There's been more than one. There's a time she ripped my necklace off of me, okay, and I held her. Tantrums, kick and punch.
Yeah.
I had to hold her down.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, no.
Typically, what does dinner look like here?
I don't cook every single night, but dinner the kids will do either. Most of the time, the little ones like pizza, hot pockets, chicken nuggets, type of peanut butter and jelly. The big girls.
Jade, you want a flashlight?
Like I just did beans.
If you need it, I don't know.
I just did beans the other day.
You heard that right. Police uncovered.
Listen to the food she feeds them. This sounds like Candace Wells. Chicken nuggets, microwave pizzas. Well, we had an altercation. Has anyone ever had an altercation with their child? I don't mean your kid being pissed about something. I don't mean that at all. Saying, oh, I wish I had better dinner, or I wish I had more money to go to the state fair. I'm not talking about that type of conversations. Look at the dog and cat shit all over that carpet, and she's just sitting there. She's got on stretch pants, sandals, and a big old moo-moo. She's got 4 stomachs. Look at her. When your belly goes below your knees, you've got another problem. She has these kids to take care of her. Basically, what it comes down to, and has come out, is that they were totally fighting over food.
Covered a letter from one of the kids detailing the alleged abuse, including an incident where Tina allegedly held scissors to the child's neck. But that is far from the end of this story.
Mornings. The little ones eat at school, but the big ones, I'm getting up late and I ain't getting the time to work and everything. I make sure they get milk. It's not cereal.
Tell me about this.
Okay. This one right here, I did take away the drinks from her because she was sneaking them. She writes stuff like this all the time, sir. You can talk to her about this. She does this all the time. She'll tell you.
So why'd you keep this one like it's important?
I didn't keep because it's
It was in your closet
I mean, I kept,
with all your important papers.
I kept all of these to show her and remind her, but I haven't got these out in forever, sir. I'm being honest, like,
I don't think you are.
I'm scared.
Well, probably because you've been abusing your kids.
No, I
Look how skinny they are. You tell me you feed those kids.
I do.
Okay, so why is she morbidly obese? And I don't want to hear from anyone that leaves me something on the replay, which I love when you all do. I love comments. I love your theories. I love your opinions. I don't want to hear, oh, she's fat shaming. She's fat shaming. Here's the whole thing. Kids eat peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes kids have to have 12 snacks a day. We all know that. You know? Goodness. Yogurt, I mean, you name it. Whatever to keep them going. They're active. They're active. They're active. They're active. They're active. So she's sitting right there with more stomachs than a cow, and they're talking about how malnourished the other children are.
Enough.
I wouldn't say enough. They like to eat noodles. What kid can get fat off of noodles?
My kids. I feed my kids noodles all the time. They're fatter than hell. At least not skin and bones like
They
this.
eat noodles and crackers.
Way to go, Oklahoma. The deputy just said, I feed my noodles kids, and they're fatter than hell. Okay. We know that kids have, they're like, I don't want to eat broccoli. I don't want to eat chicken. I don't want to eat sweet potatoes tonight. And sometimes you have to say, it's called nourishment. Health is boring, but you cannot just have preservatives and junk all day. And they see these skinny little kids running around looking for help and writing these letters. And thank goodness somebody, Jesus took the wheel and went to confront her. If you see someone 700 pounds sitting on a broken ass couch, okay, and a bunch of skinny kids, you don't have to be fucking Columbo to figure out what the problem in the house is.
With it.
And spaghetti and meatballs and Hot Pockets and pizza and hot dogs and all kinds of nutritious things. Those kids are malnutritioned, Tina.
Well, I give them canned vegetables. Does that count?
That's healthy,
Apples?
Next, the officer.
How did Tina wind up looking like this? Okay, for all of her foster kids, she gets $1,700 a piece. Okay, she does. She also gets food stamps. So with all of this money she has coming in for doing what some people would say is the right thing, why would you not make sure that the kids have what the state is allotting them? I mean, with all that money, you couldn't call Stanley Steamer and say, can you please clean up the dog shit? Anyone? I don't know about you guys. I can let my house get filthy from time to time, and I'm like, ooh, this is too much for me. But old Tina, she's one of those foster parents that's in it for the money. And, I saw a comment in here saying, I thought she had a pillow under her dress. Oh, hell no. For one, that can't be a dress. That's a king-size sheet. And two, that's a belly. She's got a lot of them. She could have been saving about $1,700 to get her some gastric bypass. What I do understand is that she's tried it before and she's always denied.
Reads a portion of the disturbing letter out loud.
Explain that to me.
I know, but here I am, and they don't have bedrooms, and they had cereal for dinner.
Well, that's what they wanted. They got the choice, the option, and they had the choice of that. That's what they wanted. It's always what they want. What do you want? I'm not cooking tonight. If they want cereal, they get cereal. If they want a bologna and cheese sandwich, sir, they get it. Ask all of them. That was their option tonight. I'm not sure what she wanted. I said, what do you want? There's beans from last night that I cooked. She was just saying, who's going to get to eat the beans now? She loves my cooking. My kids love my cooking.
Dear God,
I love when he said, dear God. Okay. Let's be real here. Let's be real. We mainly have mamas in here, right? Anyone ever said, we're having sandwiches for dinner? Yeah, I've done it. We're having sandwiches and chips tonight. Hell, one time I said, everyone better eat some cereal because the milk's about to expire. But I have never said to my kids, hey, we got a bunch of pork and beans in there. Go get them. Yes, I have warmed up leftovers. And she goes, the kids love my cooking. No, they don't. Look at the shelf right there. She still has VHS tapes. She still has VHS tapes. That means she has not cleaned this fucking house since 1997. Stillwater said, I'm on a warpath. I turned 49 yesterday. I'm feeling spry. I lost all my bad weight and stopped drinking last year. Woo! Everyone, let's take a second and tell our wonderful friend Stillwaters happy birthday. Thursday was always my night. I'm like, get a sandwich. Now, mind you, they weren't babies. If you want to order pizza, order pizza. If you want to pound out some hamburgers, we'll put them on the grill. But I'm not dirtying up the kitchen tonight. Nope. Because in the weekends is when I clean. And I like to start with a clean chalkboard.
I think she's going to kill me. I didn't do anything. You and I both know that. I have been talking to you, praying and trying to be polite, helpful, and respectful. I've been shutting out all the bad thoughts, but it's no use. But I won't let their negativity and discouragement stop me. This is my year for as long as I'm alive. I'm going to change, but I won't let anyone stop me. I want to change, but if she kills me, I know that I was making changes to make me better. I'm going to be kind and respectful still. She held scissors to my throat. Scissors, underlined, to my throat. She left bruises on my neck, along with cuts from her nails. She cut the inside of my lip, and now one of my front teeth is moving slightly. My nose is clogged with blood, and my ear is bright red with plenty of scratches on it. And it hurts so bad. I can't lay on that side of my head. You know I could get her in trouble for that. And the fact that she said, I'm going to kill her with at least 2 people besides me that can verify that. Then she whispered to me, if Katrina didn't stop me, I would have choked you till you passed out. And I'm the sick, twisted one, but no, I'm going to stay here just to prove what I can change.
Yes.
Tina, combine that with the fact that these kids have run away 7 times from you. Mm-hmm. How is any reasonable person supposed to think you're not starving and abusing these kids?
Okay. Mental abuse, I would say yes. Physical abuse, no. Has there been altercations? Yes, there has. Starving, like you said, I feed them. but it's not the foods.
But
like you're saying
a
your
year.
kids get.
No, I quoted the noodles that
Oh,
you
okay.
said. Okay, you said noodles. I said noodles. Okay, we're
I'm
not.
starving them. Why do I have all
If you're feeding them, why are they skinny?
Have you talked to them about that?
I have.
And what did they say?
That's not what we're talking about. I'm asking you questions right now.
I have a theory, and I'm going totally off topic, about the reason that Sebastian would run away from Katie and Chris's house so much. Obviously, he's a very thin boy, okay? And I believe that he would run away to find food. I've got many other theories because there's no physical evidence of a murder or abduction or foul play. But they have mentioned how he would just eat and eat and eat and eat. The Turpin children, they were skin and bone. They had a very hard time when they went to the hospital to even be able to digest food. At one point, they couldn't stop eating, but their stomach is so shrunken, they couldn't, even eat that much. And like when she's like, "Oh, it's just mental abuse." Okay, that's fine. That's how OJ talks to me. All right. Thank you, Kimberly Mann, for the super sticker.
If you're feeding them, why are they skinny? Are you eating? Is your husband eating?
Yeah.
Those boys are eating. At least it looks like it. I haven't looked at them real close. But those two older girls, you can't look at me and tell me they're eating enough. Tell me they're eating enough.
There's a time we thought they had parasites. I even bought them parasite medicine. It's around here somewhere.
Did they go to the doctor?
No.
When's the last time they've been to a physician?
Because it's been a while.
How long
Because-
is a while?
See, I think the last time for was to get a shot and the dentist to get her retainer taken out. So maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
They haven't been to a physician in 2 or 3 years. Look how skinny they are. You thought they had parasites?
Freaking parasites. This question comes up in every case. Where was the social worker? Social workers are not the law. If you go and you do your checklist and say, "I knocked on this door and no one answered," there is nothing anyone can do about it. And I mean nothing. If you say, "I will try to make contact in 2 weeks," well, they're not home. There's nothing you can do with it. There has to be some sort of suspicion that something's going on and they have to get the police. That's what was happening with Summer Wells. When that social worker on the 14th of June came to lay eyes on Summer Wells and said, "Okay, if I can't see Summer, I'm going to come back with a deputy." They're not law enforcement. You would assume that most everybody would participate in the help, right? Would you not? But when you're getting $1,700 per kid and you're sitting on your ass with shitty carpet and starved kids, you wouldn't let a social worker in. Tina didn't. And you ought to see her husband. He's about $1.20 soaking wet.
And you didn't take him to the doctor?
She told I've had parasites.
You should go to the doctor if you have parasites. You should take your children to the doctor if they're skin and bones, Tina.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So why haven't you? Why aren't you feeding your kids?
Why haven't I taken them to the doctor? I have no excuse.
Okay. Why aren't you feeding your kids
Why
enough?
ain't I feeding
Okay,
them
you feed
enough?
them. Why aren't you feeding them enough?
What is enough? Because like I explained earlier, they were gorging.
Tina admits to locking up access to food and failing to take the kids to the doctor. But this officer is not letting up.
Are you feeding those kids enough?
Enough? Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What would be enough? Is 3 times a day enough?
Okay,
Two
that-
2 to 3 times a day?
So
Because sometimes, like I said, in the morning, the girls will just have a glass of milk, okay? But they have lunch and they have dinner. They never skip that.
Okay.
Never.
We're circling right back around to if they're not skipping meals and if they're getting fed enough, I wouldn't be able to see their bones through their skin like that.
Yeah. So maybe,
And-
like you said,
and-
I should
and-
take them to the doctor.
Absolutely. I think you should have taken them to the doctor, you know, especially if they're skinny because there's something wrong with them, you know?
Look at him rolling up his pant legs. They were gorging too much. Has anybody ever denied their children food? Unless you just say, no, you've had enough candy. You're going to be bouncing off the walls all night. No, no, no. Her saying they have a glass of milk in the morning. Okay, fine. But when you see a police officer and she's not parasites, and she's like, and I have parasites. She don't have no tapeworm. She don't have no tapeworm. Impossible. Insane.
If they're skinny because there's something wrong with them, they need to go to the doctor. If they're skinny because you're not feeding them, you need to go to prison. Right?
As the questioning continues, Tina takes a, let's just say, interesting approach, pointing the blame elsewhere.
But you haven't fed them enough either.
Okay.
Look at them. It breaks my heart. When I found that girl and she stood up, Tina, I don't know how you stay here with her like that. She's tiny.
She covers herself. She's always covering
But
herself.
that doesn't mean it's not there.
I know, but she covers herself. She does. I've been trying to get her to do more, drink more, eat more, and everything. Give her Gatorade. Said maybe you need some electrolytes. I did. Started buying more oranges and apples, nutrients. Bought more canned food. Hey, you need to eat some vegetables. I have.
And then you keep it all locked up and you don't let them have snacks until you get home.
Well, I'm always home.
Now,
Yeah. Yeah. But I let them always choose. What do you want to eat? It's their choice. They choose.
Tina, please. I really am not trying to be mean to you.
I know you're not. You're doing your job.
Whenever you say
You're doing your
things,
job.
to me like, I let them eat, I let them choose, I let them this, like all I can think about is looking at how skinny they are. So like they're not, and they haven't gone to the doctor, and there's locks on everything in this house, and I can't even count the cameras. I haven't started to. Like these kids.
They were for protection at first.
Oh, well, I get.
Like I said, I started putting them in certain places because we had to.
She makes Hunter's mama Allie look like a swimsuit model. Okay, that's a big old girl. That's a big old girl. Oh, I let them eat whatever they want, but there's locks on the cabinets. Talking about parasites and shit. Kids don't always want to eat healthy. Sometimes they're like, I need some sugar. I need, people's bodies, especially children, tell them what they want. And yeah, you introduce healthy foods when they're little so they understand them. The junk food is for her. That's what it's for. The junk food's for her. I can tell you right now, if she buys 1 gallon of milk a week, I'd be shocked. All the damn ramen noodles. She's got a sheet on the couch. You know why? Because she sleeps on it. She never leaves that couch. That's where she's got her tray. She's got her phone charger. She's got everything. She's got the remote control. She doesn't go to bed.
And I get, having them so the kids don't run away. But now that I've been here, I kind of understand why the kids are running away. I don't blame them. I'd be running away too. Like, I just want to eat.
But when I've asked them why they ran away, it was never had to do anything with that.
Tina, they're not going to tell you because you're starving them.
Let's take a moment and rewind to earlier in the day when Tina was singing a different tune.
This year, I threw a Halloween party for the kids. It was really cool. I bought a bunch of Halloween decor, and I bought a projector, a huge 84-inch projector, because I bought the screen. But I had bought a projector Black Friday the year before. I hadn't used it yet. So I I did like cool stuff, decorated cupcakes, cool candies, and then set that up for them. Happiest kids ever. They're like best mom ever, and they loved it. They went to school talking about it and everything. So it was a lot of fun. I wanted to do the projector out here, but I was like, I don't know if that's okay to do.
Hours later, the quote, best mom ever is not exactly living up to that title as the interview continues.
Why is all the food locked up?
To keep them from sneaking it, stealing it, things like that.
Why?
The freezer, you notice, isn't locked up. They don't usually get in the freezer and mess with that stuff, but the stuff that they can grab quick,
Let me ask you a question.
that's why.
What is wrong with letting them, I understand keeping some control over it because I've got 4 kids. I have to do that myself, but I do that through parenting, not putting locks on everything. I understand that these are some devious, hang on, let me finish. Wait, just let me finish my thought, please.
No, absolutely.
I understand you got some devious kids causing problems. You got to take that extra step. I get it. But like their cameras, locks, they're running away constantly. They're writing letters, but because they're out of options. They don't know what else to do anymore. Like they're expressing their feelings on paper because they've got no one to talk to because they don't go to school and they don't go to counseling and they don't go to the doctor and all they do is sit around here and get starved. And what am I supposed to tell anybody that asks me why you shouldn't go to prison? What do I tell somebody, Tina? Because I just didn't feel like taking them to the doctor.
No.
You've got $60,000, $80,000 cars in the garage, but you can't afford enough food, so you lock it up.
The interview keeps going on in circles until the officer decides he's had enough.
Let's reconvene tomorrow because I'm getting frustrated and that's unprofessional. And I apologize for that.
Actually, you know what? You're doing your job.
Thank you.
You're doing your job.
Thank you, Tina.
You're absolutely welcome. And you said my
Don't you love when people that are persons of interest, okay, say, oh no, you're just doing your job. You're just doing your job. You're just doing your job. And he's heated. He's rolling up his pant legs because he can see fleas jumping out of the damn carpet. He can see all the shit around there, okay? Now, the kids are at school. Tina's got all day to call Stanley Steamer, and she's got the money to have them come steam clean the carpets professionally.
sister was on her way.
Jade, sister's
yes,
coming?
ma'am, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're not going to leave. We're just going to quit this interview so I can calm down.
You're okay.
I appreciate you speaking with me.
No, I appreciate you. You have, I'm gonna let you know, you have been very nice throughout this whole process. Something like this can be very uncomfortable, all of it from the beginning. And since you walked in my door, you have made this process comfortable.
I'm glad.
You're doing your job,
Right.
okay? That's your job. Serve and protect, right?
Mhm.
I can't be mad at that, all right? Her job, same thing. Serve and protect, right?
Mhm.
I understand. I do. It looks bad. It does.
It's because it is bad, Tina.
It does.
It doesn't look bad. It is bad.
Yeah.
The police are here doing a search warrant and DHS is taking your kids.
I know.
It's bad.
And that's you know what, I'll tell you something. Those two older ones have been taken from DHS.
I know. And
Not
they're
only from their bio parents, but a foster
terrified.
foster. They've been taken out of foster care before because that foster home got investigated, and then the third home that they didn't want them, so they felt not wanted.
And now the fourth home.
And I
How do they feel here?
I hate that.
And so
Okay, so again, these kids have gone from foster home to foster home to foster home to foster home. Now, as much as I cannot stand the Child Protective Services, and I can't because, well, they're not law enforcement, and I think they should be involved after, not before, because they're social workers. They're there to head pet, give hugs, and say, oh, let's work through this. Even when there's abuse in the home. I think the police should be involved because that'll shake some motherfuckers up. Okay. So this is their 4th foster home. She's like, and I hate that. And I hate that. Okay. So you know that they've had issues at 3 previous foster homes. So you know you're getting the money. You know your house has been checked out. You probably have the fire extinguishers where they're supposed to be like a daycare. You have smoke detectors. You have all of that. You have all that stuff, enough to pass a check for a foster home. But then you start locking up their food. What's the worst thing that's going to happen if the children eat? Tell me. What is the worst thing that's going to happen if the kids eat? If they have too many Hot Pockets, if they have too many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, if they have too many Oreos, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You don't lock food away from kids. Now, it's easy to say you've had enough pop for today. Time to get a glass of water. Get some orange juice. Get some milk. We can see what's going on here.
So these kids have run away over and over again, but it's wild. And I didn't think we would have this conversation because it's not normal.
Another reason why I cannot stand the social worker mentality and process is because when the child ran away that day and the police got involved, they called Department of Human Services, said, oh yeah, they've ran away 7 times before. Again, they're not law enforcement. I don't know why so many people have such faith in Child Protective Services. I'll never understand it. What is worse than are you okay with there, OJ? Are you itchy? What is worse than Child Protective Services is elder abuse. I'm telling you, I lived it. They're not law enforcement. They can't do anything without the police. And a lot of times, they don't get them involved. You know why? Cold hard cash. It's called the money, honey. It's a totally different agency, and it's done different in every state. It's not federal. So it's easy to say, well, why doesn't CPS do something? Because they can't a lot of times.
Well, for us to have this conversation, but it's crazy. These kids want to run away, but they're also scared of me to take them away.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be here, but they're scared to end up with some worse foster family.
They've told me the reason they don't want to be here because they're tired of hurting everybody. They're tired of hurting.
How are they hurting you? Eating too much?
No, just putting me through the things that they have put me through.
What did they put you through?
Like, I told you she scratched my car. She got mad. She got angry.
She's a child.
Before leaving, the officer has one last question for Tina that reveals even more unsettling details.
Oh, I guess I do need to ask you a couple more questions.
Yes.
Several of your kids confirmed that you have tased one of these kids with that taser.
No, as I was telling her earlier, we do that, right?
Yeah.
And we even do it with the dogs. So physically, no, I'm not.
Like, how close have you put it to the kids?
One time I got real close on accident because we were playing around. But as far as, no.
Okay, then the bzz game, like, how close are you?
I don't see Tina having the physical capability of playing around with a bunch of young kids with a taser. No, that's called a direct threat. You see old Tina rolling around in the dog shit floor saying, buzz, 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 I'll buzz you. No, that didn't happen.
Oh, not that close.
I know, but you're not telling me the distance,
Oh.
like with inches? I think 6 inches is what you just showed
Yeah,
me.
we pop it. Just like, oh, it's like, did you find it?
I did.
Yeah, it's little. It don't hit them.
Tina admits to holding a taser near the kids, even, quote, accidentally tasering one in the eye. Police found that same, quote, small taser in an earlier search of the home. Take a look.
Yep. I guess that's coming with me.
But that's not all.
You need me to open the pantry? Fingerprinted?
Oh no, you press mode.
You need me to open the pantry?
Officers found locks on the pantry and refrigerator doors. Investigators also found a pepper spray holster, multiple cameras placed around the home, and logs documenting the kids' activities. Days later, police returned to the home, and this time, it's not just a talk.
Okay. You and Anthony are coming with me, and we're going to jail today.
We're going to jail?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm just being straight with you. I don't want to argue and fight and all that, but that's what's going on this morning. So
Okay.
just get some shoes on, what you need to do, and then we're gonna head out.
Okay, I'll get dressed.
Okay. I'm not gonna stay out here though. I'm gonna come in just so I make sure
That's
you don't.
okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay.
I'm glad you're here. At some point, you and I need to sit down and talk about this environment and your involvement in all of this. Your name has come up several times in my investigation, but you and I haven't had an opportunity to sit down and talk. You and I as well are going to have to sit down and talk. You're coming with me this morning. So go ahead and set your stuff down. You already got shoes on and everything? All right, put your stuff down right there. Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Do I just
You just go to jail, that's all.
I'm not. I'm
Hold
just
that for me.
trying to- Yeah.
Did you see old skinny boy sitting there on the couch? I don't know how in the world he gets to peg her. I will never understand that. So he had to put his coat on, put his shoes on. So yeah, okay, we'll talk about it later, but you're coming to jail.
Yeah, you just stand right there and be helpful.
That back door won't hold that dog. Okay, I know. I'll put him in his cage. No. Oh. Smokey the husky. You're not gonna get trained?
I was just making sure you had shoes on. You got shoes on? All right.
Yeah. That back door won't hold that husky.
She can take care of that, right?
Okay.
Let's go with him to his car.
Can she give me water because my mouth is really dry and I'm just waking up? Can she give
You
me
can get a
water?
drink of water. Yeah, that's
Give me
fine.
water. My purse is right there. Okay.
I don't think your hands are going to be back here.
No.
I'm going to get them in front of you, though.
Yeah. And can I take this or
Well,
give it to her?
you can give it to her or whatever you want to do.
Well, you carry this for me?
If you want me to, or you can carry it right there.
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
You can lock those so that, they don't get tight when you put your hands down. Separate them real quick. I can't see in there.
To turn that off, you just say, "Hey, Ziggy, stop."
Okay.
Okay.
This way.
The dogs. What happens with the dogs?
Yeah. You're going to have to sort that out with one of your family members or something.
Okay.
We don't have any animal control here in the city of
you
Piedmont
don't?
now. It's really surprising. We'll be in touch, okay?
Do I go on the opposite side?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can't see you guys back there. You gotta take what? Is there room for both of them? Okay.
You want me to open it?
Oh, I thought he was gonna do it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, put yourself in there. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's
Tina and her husband, 26-year-old Anthony Ebezaiko are both whisked away to jail, where Tina declines to speak with investigators. Anthony, however, does agree to speak with police. Let's see what he has to say.
It's like I can't catch a break. It's like
Well,
everything's.
I didn't know about this stuff until Friday, whenever I got involved with it, Anthony. That's
How is Anthony her husband? How? Someone please explain to me how Anthony is her husband.
the first time I got involved. You know, maybe if you and I had spoke Thursday and you were saying this situation's terrible and we need help, maybe this would look different. But the police got involved and found the conditions the way they were, and it's not good, Anthony. Okay. So, man, I really don't know what to tell you other than you should have done something, I think.
That's the thing. I'm thinking, like, what should I have done? What should I have done? Because at the same time, I did make sure I told her. I was like, hey, like, I asked her.
You knew what you were getting yourself into, man. I mean, like, you should have taken him to the doctor. You should have taken him to somebody, a professional.
I'm not. They're adopted. I'm not on their paper as like that.
I know that, but you got to know the family before you even got married.
Right.
You got to know the family and made sure that was something you wanted to be a part of.
Right.
So when you marry a woman with kids, those are your kids, your stepdad.
She always takes them to the hospital before the start of school.
That's for the babies, man, not the big ones. The big ones need to go to the doctor.
I thought she did that.
No, and she told me that she thought they had parasites and that she never took them to the doctor, even then. I mean, so I don't think that the defense of you just didn't know is going to fly for this, truthfully.
I don't know what else to say. It's like I can't like lie. I can't lie.
No, I don't want you to lie. That's the last thing I want you to do.
Right. It's like what do I say? What do I do? And
I wish that there was something that you could tell me that you did to protect the kids. That's what I wish you could tell me. Is there anything you did to protect them?
I mean, thinking about it, let me see what I did to protect them.
You know, if
I'm just trying to think hard. And things I did to protect them. I don't know. Those times I did say, because I wanted like us to. I don't know if this is like protecting them. It's like me having to take them to buffets and stuff. I don't know. That's not protecting. That's
one
trying to
that's
feed
feeding them,
more.
right?
I'm sorry, but protection. Talking to them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not.
So you said you took them to buffets, but you know, you also said Tina primarily took care of them at home. Did you ever prepare meals for the family?
I did. It's African food, and
Not really their thing,
Not
or
really their thing. So they're more of the night American popcorn dogs and
yeah.
things like that. But as far as the African side, they always eat spicy. So I'm just okay. I'll eat it myself. So.
Right.
Anthony has trouble determining what he did to protect the kids and goes on to indicate he didn't really play a part in helping to feed the family.
And then all I just did was that I just kind of made rice and just ate the stew that's in the fridge, or I buy noodles, and there is some African noodles that I eat, and that's I cook for myself, and that's it.
Okay. You know, you understand what you just explained to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't feed the kids.
We feed the kids.
You don't feed the kids, right? You said it's her responsibility.
Yeah, she's the
okay,
one.
but she's not feeding them either. Is what it looks like.
No, she says she feeds them, and I did tell. I asked
Do you
her.
see her feed them?
Yeah, in front. There was one time when I had this argument with her, I watched her. She doubled, like there was a time they were eating like
What argument were you having with her?
it's mostly about this kids, man. It's like I always tell her, hey, like
Jinbug said, wait, this is the husband? Yeah. Like I said earlier in the video, I said, wait till you see her skinny ass husband. I said, they're making him put a coat on. Yeah. She drug him out of Africa. He's seen the kids eat one time. He could be part of the problem. Because, I mean, he's really big about rationing meals and just eating a bunch of damn rice and shit. And then you go on, you know, to your next meal. So, of course, his defense attorney is saying that he can't be blamed because it's a cultural difference. Well, I only know one culture, and it's called taking care of kids. Okay? I saw him eat one time. Okay.
pretty much with the two first I was like questioning like why the hell do you have why do you have to all these logs, blah blah. And then she goes, well, it's because they every single time trying to run away, so I'm trying to stop it from happening. Then all of a sudden, cameras. Why do you have all these cameras? Like, what the,
Is that not you? Is that her? Like, there's so many cameras. That's crazy.
that's just so crazy because I freaking that was argument about it. I argued with her. I said, hey, like, this camera, like, this is not normal family. This is some prison or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
First of all,
Thank you.
The cameras, I was like, yo, okay, there's so much cameras. And she's like, yeah, because I use the cameras to watch them because that way, because they.
Okay, so he's saying there's cameras all around the house so people can't eat. We all know that Tina probably needs to check out Weight Watchers, okay? It'd be best for her health, if you know, okay? It would be best. And I have a feeling that the biggest argument that him and Tina had was on their anniversary when he had to climb Round Pound Mountain. Because you know that had to be some stinky shit right there for him.
Kept asking after they finished eating, they kept asking, like, stealing food from the little ones. Whenever the little ones are eating, they go into the kitchen and kind of give the little ones some side eye, and then the little ones would just act like they're full, and then the big ones take their food and eat it
Because they're hungry, Anthony.
because they ate.
But why are they? Man, Anthony,
Just like you, I'm confused, man. I'm freaking confused.
Okay,
they're
listen.
hungry.
All right, just listen to me for a minute. Let me explain kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because you tell me these kids run away all the time, and that might be a behavior thing or not, whatever. But you're also telling me like you're stealing food all the time.
Right.
That just like they're stealing food all the time, and they're skin and bones. Like they're hungry, Anthony.
Hey, check this out. though.
Like
They went to my her sister's house.
yeah.
She fed them. But tell me why the hell they're still stealing the food from their cousin's place?
Because whenever you came from a good home, so I don't expect you to understand this, but when kids over time don't get enough food, it's kind of like a dog. Like have you ever had like a dog or an animal that went too long without food and stuff, and they just want to eat, and you gotta kind of stop them because they'll eat too much and they'll throw up, and you know it's so whenever an animal or a child or whatever has gone without adequate food, they're going to want to eat everything all the time just as a psychological thing. Like they're used to not getting enough, so they always want more. Does that make sense? Like any chance they get for food, they're going to be like, oh, I need to grab that because I'm not going to get to eat tomorrow, or I'm not going to have enough, or I'm still hungry, or you know, I'm not in those kids' head, but I can imagine kind of how they're thinking. And it makes sense to me from my side why they're stealing food, because they're habitually not getting fed enough. They're hungry. Does that concept make sense to you?
Yes, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. I never dealt with it like this before.
All right.
I don't know where to begin. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. All all I just know is that my whole goal for this was to have a good family, like turn something that was bad into back to being good. That's all I wanted.
Have you ever hit the kids?
No. The only time that I hit the kid was because of he got expelled from school. And I was just kind of mad because it's like I didn't hit him so much, but at the same time it's just kind of like that.
Tina and Anthony were both taken into custody for multiple counts of child abuse and neglect. Tina was additionally charged with assault and battery with a deadly weapon. At last check, both Anthony and Tina are expected back in court this winter.
They went back to court, and they are still in trouble. Anthony, not so much, but she is. Anthony is soon to be deported. True story. Because he's here. They just met through the internet, and obviously makes a lot of sense to me that a dude that looks like Anthony has, he's a good looking dude. Okay, he is, and I don't think that he would rub up on Tina at a nightclub, and so these things are not going to end until we have more police and less social workers and dismantle CPS head to toe. They should never be involved in the beginning. We need real investigators, highly paid investigators, because we're talking about abuse of children. Okay? Now I get it. It's almost like they compare kids with dogs. You have a stray dog, you call animal control, they come out and they rope them up and they take them to the shelter to find out where they came from. All right? I'm an animal lover, but we're talking about kids. And these social workers do not make the right decisions. They just don't. They just don't. They do not get police involved because in their little college educated minds, they think they know more. It is sick. It is sick. It is sick. And in every case, somebody always pops up and says, what about CPS? They're not law enforcement. And even when they try to do something, they're not educated enough to put it into legalese to explain to a judge what's really going on. It's sick. And I cannot believe this shit got reversed. What was it? This is 2025, 2012. And yeah, the kids are in other foster homes. I'm sure they're being fed. Sure, they're not doing good. I'm sure they just didn't snap out of everything that happened. But that's life. You don't bring a butter knife to a gunfight. You're talking about children. You ever had a 2-year-old tell you, I'm not eating that, and have a fit and say, I'm not going to eat. I want this. I want this. I want this. Well, it's different when you're their parent, because you have a level of respect from them because they know where they came from. You get a perfect stranger, that's a different level of anxiety. This system is really messed up. It really is. But don't forget about Kayla Collins, little Elena Hembry. The case in Arizona is absolutely sick. That old dude is going to Hawaii. And let me know if you want to keep doing these updates on Friday. It's a more laid back, chilled chat where we can just discuss different cases and things like that. And, actually OJ seems to act a lot better. V. Oakley said, my 6-month-old puppy is just like a 2-year-old going through the terrible twos. Yes. Well, get ready for next Friday because there's always something coming out. You guys are the absolute best. And I just hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend. I'm actually going to turn my electric grill into a charcoal pit here in about 30 minutes. Woo! Woo! Oh, hang on. Peach State Mama said, I need something uplifting now. All right, I got it for you. You guys ready for this? All right, Peach State Mama said, I need something uplifting now. I totally get it. Tulsa Zoo is trying to get these 2 elephants that have been starved in Los Angeles since the fires happened, and they haven't been feeding them. Now, a judge denied the emergency request, but we have a judge in Oklahoma that is going to get Billy and Tina
to court in the battle to move LA Zoo's 2 aging elephants to a sanctuary. And today a judge weighed in on the dispute. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia has the decision from the courthouse.
LA Zoo elephants Billy and Tina may soon be moving out of their Los Angeles digs. The Superior Court judge denied advocates for the elephants a temporary restraining order preventing them from being transferred to a Tulsa, Oklahoma zoo. Outside the downtown.
Well, since the fires, they haven't been able to eat. They don't have enough food for them. And they keep saying they're waiting for more funding from the state of California. It doesn't work that way. And we've got people at the Tulsa Zoo that said they have an entire sanctuary for them. Bring us Billy and Tina.
Downtown LA courthouse activists voiced their disappointment that Billy and Tina could be transferred at any time to a zoo in Oklahoma and not the elephant sanctuary in Tennessee they wanted the 2 to go to.
I'm just disgusted, and I am just like outraged that I live in a city that would continue to allow this type of cruelty.
But to look into sending them to the Tennessee sanctuary where many elephants have been blessed with a happy life.
According to the LA Zoo, Billy and Tina are being transferred to the Tulsa Zoo because it has more space for them and to also be with other elephants. In a written statement to Eyewitness News, a spokesperson for the LA Zoo says visitors to the LA Zoo have enjoyed watching and learning from Billy and Tina for years. The difficult decision to relocate them was made in consultation with and on the recommendation of experts from around the country affiliated with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. The zoo goes on to say, ultimately, this decision, as in the case with all animals care decisions at the LA Zoo, is driven by the unwavering commitment to the health and well-being of the animals. In his ruling today,
they almost let them burn up in the fires. And they're like, Tulsa is not a preserve. Neither is Tennessee. And they don't have the room for it. Good Lord. To be quite honest, I don't think anyone really cares where they go as long as they get their weight back up and they're healthy and they've got plenty of water, because they don't where they're at.
the judge encouraged the public to contact the LA City Council and Mayor Karen Bass's office.
To tell her that this is unconscionable and that LA should be on the right side of history and not in the dark ages, and that we should be leading the way on supporting and protecting wildlife.
Ms. Lerner, the attorney you just heard from, says their lawsuit to prevent the two elephants from being transferred out will continue. The zoo hasn't given a date as to when that is going to happen. Reporting from the LA Zoo, I'm Sid Garcia.
Very sad when politicians get into politics, okay? Because Karen Bass, who is the mayor of LA, said she doesn't want the elephants coming to Oklahoma because Oklahoma, every county voted for Trump. The elephants didn't. So what does it matter? They're trying to save their life. Uh-oh. Chrissy said, I thought we were talking about something uplifting. It will be uplifting once they get saved. And I can talk about Billy and Tina too, because they're on the damn news all the time. You don't ever see skinny elephants, okay? You guys are the absolute best. Again, enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I will see you back here Monday morning. Love you to death.